and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you to my backyard, my main herb garden, and we have a little project to do today, and I need to gather a bunch of my fresh oregano. So I'm going to move the camera so I can aim it downwards. Make sure I'm getting where I'm going. There we go. Okay, now this is a big patch of what is called hot and spicy oregano. And the sun hasn't hit it yet, so it should still have a whole lot of its essential oils in it. Oreg wants to keep falling. Oh man, it's hot. With the humidity today, at the moment, we're at 111. Doing anything in the shade is approved. And that should be plenty enough. Now I'm going to get just a little bit more. Go on, mosquito. We've been needing rain really bad. Okay, now that's a good amount. It's my next herb I'll be harvesting that we don't need a whole lot of because it's extremely strong. But I'll go on and let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to be teaching you and showing you how to make your own herbal salt. And let's go pick some rosemary now. Okay, we're up here in the front herb bed, which is a garden. Well, no, more like a jungle right now. And I need to get it cleaned up. I've got to harvest the apple mint. But right now, we're up here for rosemary. Oh, it smells so wonderful. little from this one. No, that one. This one's putting on new growth. And that should be way more than enough fresh rosemary for what we're going to be doing. Alright, and I will see you back in the kitchen here in a little bit. Okay, welcome back to the kitchen. It's time to get busy, and I'm going to start stripping my oregano leaves. You just pull down along the stem, and your leaves will come just right off. And I use the flowers as well. Now you can always save your stems and put them in vinegar to start making some herbal vinegar as well. You know how I feel, waste not, want not. And so you just take your thumb and your first finger, pinch gently on the stem, and just pull down. And they'll come right off. And let me get a little closer. So you take your, and cut that light off. So that light will brighten up. Alright, you just take your first finger and your thumb, pinch gently, and there you have them. Put the light back on and get back to being busy. I hope everyone out there is doing good in this huge heat wave. Last time I checked, we were 111 today. And it's still hot out there. Oh, it smells so wonderful. And I'll bring you back as soon as I get done. Okay, I am done. And you want to separate your oregano as much as you can. Now, on another note, you don't have to use oregano. You can use basil, chives, any of your culinary herbs. And even better, you can make your own custom fresh herb blend and blend it with your salt. And what you're going to do, because I'm going to be doing 2 batches, you split about half of your oregano up. Now, buy the salt at Dollar Tree, not Walmart, Dollar Tree. $1 for a pound. The same exact thing that's sold at Walmart for almost $5. Save you some money. I hope you have a Dollar Tree near you. And I always use the pink Himalayan salt or really good sea salt, because pink Himalayan's the best because your body actually absorbs it, uses what it needs, and flushes out the rest of it. Please don't use table salt or kosher salt. That just sticks in your body, it doesn't get used, and then eventually it's flushed out. And that's why it causes high blood pressure. The pink salt and the really good sea salt does not affect your blood pressure. And what you're going to do is you're just going to grind your herbs in with your salt. And you want to make sure that your herbs get ground up. Now is when you need a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. Please do not use wax paper. Do not. Because your salt's wet and there's wet herbs in here. I'm going to put it in the oven until it's all bone dry. Oh, smells wonderful. Oh. You want to make sure there's no lumps, no big chunks of the fresh herb. And we'll put the rest of the herb in here. And these are 1 pound bags. Now, if you don't have one of these little grinders or blenders, you can use a large food processor as well. You just want to make sure that it all gets ground up very well, especially your herbs. Stop after a bit, shake it around. Now you're going to notice it's going to have lumps. That's fine. And let me tell you, this smells amazing. Now, if you want your salt, your herb salt stronger, yes, you can use more herbs in the salt, but you're going to want to make sure that they're ground fine and that you make sure that your salt is completely dry. That tastes amazing now. Make sure you get all your salt out. Now your salt is moist, it might not feel it. I have the oven set for the lowest temperature it'll go, and it'll be, this one is set for 170. And I'm going to set this in and let it dry for a couple of hours. Okay, I'm going to clean up my mixer because we have round 2 of seasoned herbal salt to make. I'll bring you right back. Okay, on to the second herbal salt. And like I said, you can mix, match, whatever flavors you love. This next one is going to be a rosemary lemon salt. You're going to want to peel your rosemary, or de-stem your rosemary. And with rosemary, it doesn't take much. So you just pinch and pull down. Now, if you really want a huge rosemary punch, use more rosemary. I just want a light hint of rosemary, because it can become very overpowering easily. You can feel the essential oils in the rosemary. And like I said, you can freeze up these stems and add them to stock, or you can put them into a jar with vinegar and just keep building you up an herbal vinegar jar. Of course, if you put them into a jar, you're going to want to put the vinegar in there with it too. This rosemary is extremely strong. And of course, even better, it's organic and homegrown. And another reason why I don't use the stems is the stems can be really tough, and a lot of times they don't want to grind down. But you can mix and match so many different flavors. It's whatever herbs you love to put together and to cook with. And it's so much better to have good salt, flavorful salt, than plain salt. And one thing a lot of other preppers never talk about, you need to be stocking up on salt as well. A lot of people just have no clue how important it is to keep salt in our body. Because you can become very, very sick if your salt level gets too low. Okay, and like I said, we're going to do a rosemary lemon salt. And yes, I leave some of my pith on my lemons because I want I want this salt to pack a punch, in other words. And don't worry, this is not going to go to waste. I'm going to use the inside of the lemons in my tea. Now, one other thing, when you're buying lemons, if you can get organic, definitely try to get organic. That way they won't have the wax on them. But if you're like me, you have to get the regular lemons that's been waxed. Just wash them really good in warm water, and that wax will come right off. And I don't mind. I don't worry about leaving some of the pith, some of the fruit. And believe me, it's going to be in that oven until it's absolutely dry. And of course, the amount of lemons that you use is up to you how lemony you would like it. Now, if you don't want to use the pith, you can do it like I am. And that way you can cut just about all the pith off. Hold on. Is it going to straighten up? But see, you can cut all the pith off and leave the zest, or also known as the peel. I figured it was going to focus better than that. Hopefully y'all can see that. But me, I don't worry about it. I use the pith too. Now another thing, you don't have to use this salt to cook with. You can use this salt once it's dried, you can use it at the table. That way you don't have to use plain salt. Oh, this one doesn't want to work right. Every once in a while you get a stubborn one. You just deal with them. And also, you can use oranges, you can use limes, you can use grapefruit, whatever fruit that you like. It's your choice. It's your salt that you're making. You could do lemon and cayenne and basil, or lemon, cayenne, and chives, or dill. And this way you know that you're actually getting lemon in your seasoning instead of just some citric acid or some kind of artificial flavor. You know exactly what's going in it. Like I said, this one's going to be a little wetter. All you do is just let your salt dry up. Make sure it dries out in the oven, and just break it up. You might have to use more pestle, or you could make sure that this gets either your blender or your food processor gets cleaned out really good. And once it's dry, you can repowder it. Alright, let's get started. This way I'm going to do the grind up the lemon zest or lemon peel and the rosemary first. then I'm going to add the salt to it. But don't let this go to waste. There's tea, honey, all kinds of stuff you can do with it. Now, usually this salt doesn't get as fine as other salts, but that's fine with me. I will still use it. And of course, once it starts drying in the oven, the essential oils from the rosemary, your herbs, everything will release into the salt as well. And of course, salt being salt, it will absorb it up. That's when you do have to mix up a few times. Scrape the sides. Call that one good. I usually use a food processor for this one. This one over here. And like I said, parchment paper, no wax paper. That's wonderful. You can taste the salt a little bit. It's got that pop of the lemon zest. And then you get that little hint of rosemary at the end. But if you're using one of these little blenders, you need to be careful. Make sure that you don't push it too long. Oh my God, that's great. You don't push it too long because you don't want to burn your motor up. And I'm not saying that to scare you, just letting you know. Now this salt is wonderful, used on fish and, like seasoning for salad dressings, chicken, sprinkled on salad. It's wonderful. And plus you get a mega dose of vitamin C as well as all the nutrients and minerals from the pink salt. And the healing benefits also of not only the lemon, but the salt. And yes, salt can heal you. And also the rosemary as well. And of course there's another added bonus that I haven't got to talk about yet, about when you're making your herbal salt, your house smells wonderful. It really does. When it's wetter salt, it's easier to use a big food processor because it has more power to get it around. And this looks done. I'm going to move my cutting board. I've been getting low on this. I was getting low on this salt. And like I said, if you want to, once it's really good and bone dry, you can always grind it finer so that you can store it in a sealed salt shaker. I'll show you how I seal mine. And like I said, there'll be lumps, especially in a wetter one, but don't worry. because once this dries out completely, and it will dry out, you can grind it extra fine. But like I said, a lot of preppers don't talk about how you need to also prep and put back salt. Oh, that's amazing. Let me go in, and like I said, parchment paper, no wax paper. Since this one is heavier. Let me get another one. And you've seen just how long it was in there. It's already drying out nicely. Now, if you do the single, just the single salts like I did with the oregano, this will dry a whole lot faster. About every hour, you're going to want to stir it. And the oregano one will probably be done in a couple of hours. The lemon rosemary one's going to take a while because of all the juice from the lemons, but it's going to be fine. It's going to completely dry out. Just make sure it's completely dry, and you'll tell the difference because it's clumpy now. It's going to get real nice. It might it'll probably get a little solid, but just break it up with a fork. You saw how easy it was. Now I'm gonna clean up my mess, and I'll bring you back as soon as they are done and it's time to jar them up. I'll see you here after a while. Okay, the salts are done. Here is my beautiful oregano pink Himalayan salt. I have a jar and a half. They turned out beautiful. Now, like I said, the lemon salt, the lemon rosemary pink salt, like I said, will clump up because it was really moist. But look how beautiful that is. And all you do, now you can use a blender, food processor, just make sure it's good and dry. Let's see, wrong lid. I've already done one jar of it. And see, simple as can be. And your salt is not clumpy. And it can actually go into salt shakers if you wanted to. Now, I will make labels for these at a later date. Definitely want to make sure after you grind your salt up, just like when you're making it fresh, wash out your blenders because, especially with the lemon juice and the salt, it's very acidic, so you don't want to mess up your blenders. But you can use food processor, and if you want to, you can just mortar and pestle it and make it smooth. But there I have 2 jars of amazing lemon rosemary Himalayan salt. Now, simple, easy, anybody can do this, and you don't have to do it expensively. The parchment paper I use come from Dollar Tree. The jars I looked up at Dollar Tree and got those. The pink Himalayan salt, Dollar Tree. Now the herbs I grew myself. The lemons I bought in the store. Simple, easy, you can do this. Now, here's one other hint a lot of people might not know. Now, if you cannot get the jars or the pink salt at your Dollar Tree, go online to their website. Now, the only drawback is you have to buy it by the case, but you can buy it through the Dollar Tree website and have it shipped for free to your local Dollar Tree store. Now, you can have it shipped to your house, but it's going to cost. But when you can get it done for free, have it shipped to your local store. I hope you find this video encouraging, and that you will also make and put back your own herbal salts, because a lot of preppers are telling you about firearms and everything. Prep all that. Well, there's no essentials that you need, and a lot of people just do not realize salt. Your body has to have salt in moderation. And like me, I sweat a lot, I work a lot, so I have to make sure I keep my salt intake up. And plus I also have a condition where I have to use salt. So thanks to my daddy, I have that one. But simple, easy, and each jar is a pound, or probably with the herbs a little more than a pound, but a pound of salt per jar, just about. So that's 4 pounds of salt, done easily and cheaply. I hope you will also make you some herbal salt as well. Please click the like and button and subscribe so you can come along on other adventures with me. Sorry, it's a little hot. We're at, last I checked, 113 or 114. So I'm fixing to get up out of this shed and cool down for a little bit. Please click the bell notification so you can come along on so you'll be notified when I upload another video. Everyone take care. Stay safe in this heat. Stay hydrated, please. And work smartly outside. Wait to do it early in the morning and in the evening. Don't go out there in the middle of the day if you can help it. Everybody take care. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and may you each be blessed.